All right. Now, being the de facto Sergeant at Arms, it is my duty to inform you that this is the 1014th meeting of Karachi Toastmasters Club. Welcome, everyone. This is a very special occasion because we are celebrating the first anniversary of our advanced meetings. So we happen to be, as far as I know, we are the only club that hold both normal format meetings and advanced format meetings. And I don't know how legal that is. At least I haven't read anything to the contrary in the news. So this is also another very special occasion. And I'm so glad that the two came together. One of our very special friends who has been with us on and off, he's practiced contest speeches, he's participated in combined meeting. She has been a great friend of the club. Dtm from District 124, and I don't know how many other districts. She has just achieved Dtm. So we thought that what better occasion than to have her as our chief guest and keynote speaker for today. And she will recount her journey, and it will be especially instructive for everyone here who is still not a DTM, and there are a few people who should have been DTM by now. So as Sergeant at Arms, please, you are encouraged to turn on your screens and turn off your sound unless you're asked to speak. Just give me. And so with that, I declare the meeting open and hand over the charge to the president, who happens to be myself, because our president is not here today. So the VP Education takes over as president. So everyone, once again, welcome to this meeting as president. And we have quite a few guests today. And I will ask Mr. Shehbaz Sarwar if you can introduce yourself. So yes, starting, live streaming. Yeah, Mr. Shehbaz Sarwar, would you like to introduce yourself? All right, we can come to you later. Toastmaster Live, please introduce yourself. All right. So moving on, since today is a special occasion, we have two very special sets of remarks. The first remarks the first statements are from our district director, Dtm Requirements, who is present in the meeting. And the second is someone very special. He is all of our mentors. I mean, all of us are his mentees. He is our first ever district director. He is one of the pillars of the Karachi Toastmasters Club, as well as the Toastmasters community in Pakistan. So first, as Toastmaster of the day, it is my duty to introduce the segments of today's meeting. The first segment will be the special commemoration, where we will have remarks from our district director. Oh yes, I forgot seasoned. Dtm Samir loves this word seasoned. So yes, he's a seasoned Toastmaster. This segment will be commemoration. So there will be remarks from our district director as well as Dtm Samir, and a little presentation about Academy meetings of Karachi Toastmasters Club. The second segment will be our keynote speaker, Dtm Requirements, who will be recounting her journey. And third segment will be an icebreaker speech, a very special icebreaker speech. It is special because it will be made by Toastmaster Imran Rana, who is making his third speech in 3 weeks, and that has to be a record for him. So, no, I mean, I think it's 4th or 5th speech in 3 weeks. And for a person who takes 6 months to make 1 speech, that has to be a record. So then it will also be followed by advanced evaluation, and finally there will be journal evaluation. So before I move on, let me briefly introduce the facilitators of this meeting. Our facilitator is another very special person, Dtm Requirements. He is our homegrown DTM. He joined Karachi Toastmasters Club hardly 2.5 years ago. And today, at the age of 25, he is not only a DTM, but also the president of another club and shortly flying off to DP for higher studies. So, Dtm Ali, can you introduce your role? You're muted.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Talab bin Ahmed. So, being timer, I am going to note the time and indicate the time through my Zoom screen for prepared speech. For the 5 to 7 minute speech, my screen will turn to green at 5, amber or yellow at 6, and red at 7. For the keynote speech, the time would be around 18 to 22 minutes. So at 18, it will turn to green. At 20, it will be yellow. And at 22, it will be red. And for the evaluation, there would be the 1 minute time, I guess, for the...
Yes, for the normal evaluation, it will be 2 to 3. Right?
Yes.
And for the round robin one, it will be 1 minute.
Okay. Okay.
So you just show red when 1 minute is over.
Okay, then it's fine. So that's all from my side. Over to the Toastmaster of the day and the DTM.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dtm Requirements. And next we have our language evaluator. She is running around doing some chores right now. But let's ask her if she's able to explain her role. Toastmaster Anam, can you explain your role? Yes.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Being the auditor today, my task today is to note down the good usage of idioms, words, and phrases, and also to keep a note of any wrong phrases or misused phrases that would be rendered during the meeting. At the end of the meeting, I would be presenting my report. Over to you, Toastmaster today.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anam. And with that, we are off to the races. So we have someone very special. That person is Toastmasters personified. He is dedicated. He is unbelievably young also. He is frustratingly polite. He refuses to get into an argument or a fight. And no matter how hard you try, and believe me, I have tried. He is an accomplished Toastmaster. What impresses me the most about him is that whenever he comes on the stage, he comes with 1,000% preparation. And that's what I've learned from him, that no matter learn from him. So everyone, please put your hands together for our District Director, Dtm Malik Umar.
Thank you so much, Dtm Talha. That's very kind of you, and I'm truly honored and humbled by the introduction that you have given. I'm currently on the road and I'm driving to Lahore for a meeting. Karachi Toastmasters Club has always been one of the benchmark clubs that has set standards for others to follow. And today's 1-year anniversary of the Academy meetings is none different than the benchmarks that Karachi Toastmasters Club has already set. It is my honor and I'm grateful to be here with all of you today to witness today's amazing and inspiring session. As leaders, we always try to come up with these innovative ideas to help our members, to assist them in their Toastmasters journey, to ensure that they get the most out of their membership. There's nothing in these innovations and in these meetings for us. We do it all for you and we keep on doing them for you. So it is for you to join these meetings, take up roles, learn, and then start applying all of that you've learned from these innovations and these wonderful initiatives. Start applying all of that, not only within your own clubs, but in your personal and your professional lives as well. I would again like to thank Karachi Toastmasters Club for being the only club to have meetings on the Academy format, which is an advanced club format, and for setting a benchmark and standard of service to the members that the other clubs aspire to follow and look up to. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, and I do look forward to being a part of the future meetings as well. Thank you so much, Dtm Talha, for having me, and I wish everyone a happy meeting and a happy anniversary. Over to you.
Thank you so much, District Director Umair. And as you saw, I think what you just saw just proved everything about him. He is on his way to another meeting, traveling to another city. Although one might ask, why is he traveling to Lahore and not Karachi? But that's for another time. But thank you so much for those kind and generous remarks, Dtm Umair. And next, we have our founding district director and our mentor and a very experienced and seasoned Toastmaster. But this is what I've learned from Dtm Sameer. One of the things that I've learned, you can be experienced and seasoned and yet you may come down to nothing. What really matters is what you're doing here and now and how you're contributing every week, every meeting, every month. We all know Dtm Sameer. He also shares quite a few qualities with Dtm Umair. One of them being never getting into a fight or an argument. And believe me, I've tried with him as well, but always fail. And he is one of the best evaluators I know. He is one of the kindest human beings that I know. And he is an embodiment of everything Toastmasters is. So everyone, please put your hands together for Dtm Sameer Hamid. And it would help if you can turn on your screens.
Okay, thank you very much, Dtm Talha, for the extremely kind and inflated introduction. Roy Bennett said that dreams don't work unless you take action. The surest way to make your dreams come true is if you live them. Let me give you 2 examples of these dreams. In 1997, an experienced Toastmaster, Syed Hassan Ali, returned from Saudi Arabia, and he decided to start a Toastmasters club. He assembled a group of like-minded people. The first meeting was held in 1997. However, the club was chartered in September 2000 and was named as Karachi Toastmasters Club. Now, why 2000? Earlier, the club was operating informally, but then a certain gentleman, a giant, the man who I would say is the godfather of Toastmasters in Pakistan, Dr. Salim Ahmed, pushed the club members, and he insisted that they officially join Toastmasters International, pay the fees, and charge at the club. So while he was building his club, this particular club, he had another dream, and he set up an advanced club, which was Karachi Advanced Toastmasters Club. It was an offshoot of course, Karachi Toastmasters. But why have an advanced club? When we start in Toastmasters, we learn the basic speaking skills. As we grow in our abilities, we want to take these skills up to the next level. And advanced clubs are usually made up of experienced Toastmasters who want to grow more rapidly. These are Toastmasters who want to set a higher bar. And the main difference between a basic and advanced club is the level of feedback, the evaluation. Because usually in typical clubs, the evaluations are focused on encouragement. You get a lot of praise and maybe a couple of suggestions. But in advanced clubs, the feedback is more detailed. It's more focused. After the tragic death of Dr. Salim, Karachi Toastmasters Advanced Club could not be sustained, and it was eventually converted into Husn Khatabat Club, the only Urdu Toastmasters club in Pakistan. However, the dream of Dr. Salim kept on living, and the idea of an advanced club session was never given up. Dtm Tala bin Hamid wanted to continue the stream, and he made the effort, and he started Quantum Leap Toastmasters Club, which is an advanced club. However, that was not enough for him. On September 18th, 2021, he and along with other members started Karachi Toastmasters Club Academy. Thus, the baton was passed on from one generation to the next, and the dream lives on. So I congratulate all the members who are present today. You are like the phoenix that has risen from the ashes and flies higher and brighter. You are truly a beacon for one and all. Dtm Tala, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dtm Samir. And, the idea behind this club was, of course, and that of Quantum Leap, was, of course, to continue the dream of Dtm Salim. But that was not the only reason. We are constantly looking to innovate at Karachi Toastmasters Club. And one thing that we observed was that our Wednesday meetings, several people find it difficult to take time out of a work day and attend those meetings and come to Beach Luxury or come online. So we thought that why not provide an additional outlet for those members, those who miss Wednesday meetings and want to do speeches. They can join this academy meeting, and that will serve dual purpose of continuing Dr. Salim's dream of advanced meetings and also providing those members an outlet. Over a period of time, over 1 year, the academy meetings have taken a life of their own. First of all, it was our commitment to everyone, and it was our professed mission that these meetings will be open to everyone in the district and beyond. We will not be sticklers for whether someone is a member or not. So we've hosted several speeches of non-members from outside Pakistan, from outside Karachi, from outside the club. And these meetings are usually joined by several other club members just for learning. And that is something that is really, really a matter of pride for us and humility, of course, because as Dtm Umair pointed out, we do it ultimately all to serve. We try out new ideas. We find pleasure when those ideas work, but ultimately it's all towards serving the members. There is also one very interesting aspect. As Dtm Samir pointed out, advanced clubs are all about advanced evaluations. And most of the time, advanced evaluations are taken as no holds barred, ruthless and unfiltered evaluations. You know what? There's another great friend of the club, Dtm Stott, who's the founder of Leaders Worldwide. And she is a great advocate of evaluations as means to motivate. And she shares that value with DTM Samir, in fact. So there's a great degree of alignment there. And she says that when you evaluate a person, think of them as your child, as your friend, as your love. And only then you can provide them with constructive feedback. And she said that she had forever sworn off advanced clubs and advanced evaluations because what she found usually in advanced evaluations contradicted her values. So then she said that only in Quantum Leap and Karachi Toastmasters Club, those are the advanced evaluations that I can get behind. Simply because, first of all, these are not ad hoc evaluations. We have designated evaluators. And secondly, we uphold our values of evaluating to motivate. The code that we follow to evaluate is exactly reflective of the code of normal evaluation. So yes, perhaps we are not as ruthless and as cruel as advanced evaluators are supposed to be, but I think that is ultimately for the better. So I will present a short presentation which will recount the journey of KTC Academy. So this was the launch poster, the whole initiative. One thing that I've learned is that everything that you do should have a catchy name. So this whole initiative was named Overdrive. And the idea was that KTC was going into overdrive. And how? By having open house meetings every Wednesday, like usual, and by having advanced meetings for Academy. And I am so honored and thrilled to acknowledge the previous year's executive committee, whose members are still in this meeting as well. They instantly agreed to the idea, although what I was pitching to them was essentially running two clubs with one executive committee, because this is a separate stream of meetings. But they said yes, and they were willing and eager, and they took this up. So we had our inaugural meeting with an inaugural keynote address, and no, it was not because I wanted to be the inaugural speaker. It was simply because we couldn't find another keynote speaker on such a short notice. And since it was my idea, so I had to go ahead with that. That was the inaugural meeting, the inaugural poster. We had another very memorable meeting, a very valuable member, Maria Paula. She runs Deaf Speech program in Karachi, and she is an Italian by origin. And she gave us her experiences communicating across barriers, communicating with people who have hearing disabilities. Then we had another advanced meetings. And once again, somehow I was the keynote speaker, different types and styles of speeches. So what we tend to do is that sometimes we apply the same set of principles and criteria to every speech, but we have to recognize that there are several types of speeches in Toastmasters. Then we hosted another very special person, the immediate past president of SAY Global Toastmasters Club. Now he's a DTM. Till last year he was not. DTM Ahmed Abdullah. And he runs a club that specializes in having members with speech impediments. So he is one himself, and he also gave us a very, very educational gesture and educational keynote. And we all realized that there's so much good work being done by people all around. Then we had, of course, DTM Sarfaraz Nazir. He told us about his experience of being a world championship of public speaking semi-finalist twice. We had another very special guest, Esther Jane. She was a keynote speaker in our annual conference and also a keynote speaker in KTC Academy recently. And her title was very interesting because she is also having some limitations with respect to vision. She focused on how to navigate and how to be politically correct. Because, you know, if I put it very bluntly, these days, you cannot call a fat person fat. You cannot call a brown person brown. And heaven forbid if you call a black person black, right? And you cannot call a tall person tall, a short person short. You cannot call a person with limitations disabled or impaired. You cannot even call them special now. That's what I recently discovered. Because calling someone special also makes them distinct from the mainstream. And the idea is to be inclusive. So that is something I can personally get behind. You know, no, nothing special. They are part of us. They are, so they don't, so this whole discourse was about that, how to navigate the tricky terrain. And it is getting trickier. Let me give you just one example. The gesture of holding the door open for a lady. It is a can of worms these days because half the ladies will misinterpret it as being patronizing and, you know, thinking lesser of them, while the other half will actually like it. The problem is you don't know which is which until you try out, right? So that is just one example of how complex communication has gotten in recent years. Then we had another schooling by Dtm Sarfaraz about how to do speeches on Zoom. And that is something we all needed because we all need to still work on our backgrounds, our audio, and our visuals when speaking online. Then we hosted World Championship, current World Championship semi-finals. He wanted to try out his contest speech, and boy, did he impress us. And he's also the District 79 public speaking champion, Dtm Nazir. It was a very special meeting. And what was more special was we also hosted our own member, Toastmaster Rabia Tabassum Zishan. He detailed her efforts of providing water to areas which were arid, which did not receive rain. And right from that meeting, right from the attendees, she got at least 3 people interested from all over the world that how could they help. So it was an amazing and memorable meeting and really, really a personification of Toastmasters values. Then we had someone who is routinely reluctant to make speeches, but I convinced her to make a keynote. And boy, did she ace the keynote, because the theme was "You Are the Monster," and the theme actually was, as is very visible in this image, it is you who is holding yourself back. All your monsters and demons come from inside you rather than from anyone outside. And then there was this last meeting, which was a collective crying session, because I discovered that the Dtm Malik Umair was as devastated by Roger Federer's retirement as I was. And he said that, you know, he had a keynote planned for Academy meeting last time, but he said that I have to withdraw because I simply cannot. So what I said to him, why not let's try together on screen? So it was a unique keynote discussion where we discussed the legacy and art of Roger Federer. It was really, really a memorable session and one of the best sessions that we've had. So now this brings us to today. And so this has been our Academy session where we've learned, we have enjoyed, we have grown together. Now there's a slight change in the agenda and I need Dtm Gayatri's permission. Can we have the prepared speech first? because Toastmaster Imran needs to leave. So yeah. So as I say, agenda changes are a hallmark of Karachi Toastmasters Club. It won't be a KTC meeting unless there's at least one agenda change, if not more. So with that, I invite Toastmaster Imran's evaluator, Toastmaster Latif, to not only introduce the project, but also to introduce the evaluation panel. So everyone, please put your hands together for Toastmaster Latif Mansoor.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid. It is an honor to be one of those XComs which were in the initial part of Academy, and it's a blessing in disguise that somehow I'm not there, but it's always been connected, that first effort up for every Saturday. Today, it's an honor to evaluate Toastmaster Imran Rana, who is embarking on an icebreaker. Actually, this is an icebreaker for his new pathway, presentation mastery. In icebreaker, normally we have to explain about what happened in our life, or something which people wanted to share with the audience and with the club, but no one is in this room can say that we are not aware anything about Toastmaster Imran. So this time we will be hearing more, and I'm sorry, the Toastmaster Imran, you will be having altogether 5 evaluators. So timer, please note, speech length will be from 4 to 6 minutes. The speech title is The 7th One, and my team of evaluation will be, I will be the lead evaluator, and then there will be 4 categories of the speech which will be divided for enhancing Toastmaster Imran's future speeches. So visuals will be taken care by distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid. Auditory will be held by TM. It's surprising. It should be to be, or would be, or soon to be, distinguished Toastmaster Anam Kadri. The prospective aspects of the speeches will be taken care by distinguished Toastmaster Ali Ashar Anjum, and language and structure will be taken care by Toastmaster Ibtiraj Fatima. So for the audience who are new in this room, I will be giving the lead evaluation, the thorough evaluation, what we always hear, and then I will be inviting all of my team to explain more about or give more feedback about his speeches. Toastmaster Imran Rana, are you ready?
Yes, could you please confirm that I'm audible and visible?
Yes, you are audible, you are visible.
Great.
Toastmaster Imran Rana, the 7th one. The 7th one, Toastmaster Imran Rana.
If I'm asked to write few lines about my friend, then I could have written a very long story. But if I'm asked to write about myself, then it would become a very challenging task. This one statement could have given me a good start, and I would like to thank Toastmasters once again to allow me to reintroduce myself for the second time in front of this esteemed audience. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, there were no light striking. There was no thunderstorms. Not even a glass was broken. Ta-da! It was a normal day, and my relatives became more envious, and their expressions went like, "What? Not again?" When they heard the news, the 7th one was born. Yes, I was the 7th son of my parents. Before me, I had 6 brothers and 2 sisters. And after me, my parent had 2 more sons. I was born in Karachi at a place called Doli Khata. Weird name, isn't it? But let me tell you its importance. We and one of the greatest leader of Pakistan, Benazir Bhutto, we both were born there. Thanks to the political party, as they were capable enough to locate the birthplace of their great leader, if not the assassin. As I already mentioned that I belong to a big family, all my brothers and sisters are married, except one, brother number 3, as he realized the after effects of marriage. Living in a big family has its own merits and demerits. As I was neither the oldest nor the youngest, this means that your work multiplies thrice. You not only have to do your own work, but you have to do your elder brothers and your younger brothers' works too. I felt myself safe and secure, not in my locality, but at school too. Have you ever seen the movie The Band of Brothers? We were actually the living example of that movie. Whenever we had fights, all my brothers stands together side by side and ever ready to shed the last drop of their blood. Did I mention before marriage and after marriage, they still stand behind their wives. We were capable enough to have our own cricket and football team. We never needed outsiders and called it Rana 11. And we won a number of matches. At school, I was average in studies, but great in providing home tuitions. Some of my students are serving as doctors, engineers, and in armed forces. I was gifted with a beautiful voice, and I still have that. Whenever there was a singing competition at school, teachers looked for me and requested me to participate. Due to a bad incident, which I won't go into details, now I am a bathroom singer. I worked in Century Paper and Board Mills Limited, which is the leading manufacturing organization in paper and board. Being almost an accountant, but my responsibilities are not like we have casual accounting like debit in and credit out. I am responsible for providing top management with relevant and timely information for decision making. In 2010, I decided to surrender my bachelor's life and got married with a beautiful girl, and she is still beautiful. All my brothers were not capable enough to break the record of my father having more children, maximum children. They all, each brother have an average of 4 children. We added 3 beautiful angels in our life. First one, the eldest one, Hashir Rana. He is so fond of his favorite animals, dinosaurs and crocodiles, always love to ask mind-boggling questions. The second one, Hamza, who found his mother in me and loved to have all his chores done by yours truly. And the youngest one, the little one, the darling one, Xenia, who is about to be a year old. She loved to take her share from all my meals, and she feel happy by grabbing my poor little innocent beard and stretched it. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, how I ended in Toastmasters, it's a long story, but it's been 7 years serving this beautiful community, and I learned a number of things, and I'm still learning. And my wife, she still hates Toastmasters. We all have we all have we don't not everyone has a spectacular and luxurious life. Each one of us is a universe, and with a unique story which has been ever told. I've invited into my universe, and I requested, and I would love to be welcomed in yours. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmaster of the day, may I begin?
Yes, of course. You lead the session.
Greetings once again. Today, Toastmaster Imran Rana shed few highlights in 4 to 6 minutes of his entire journey. And I'm still yet to know how old he is. He kept it secret, and that's a charming, because something is there in suspense yet. A very brilliant start, the way he described that it's easy to finalize or to describe others, but sometimes when it comes to us, we feel or we fail to express or to inform many things which we suppose it has to be given to this world or shared with the friends and family. Toastmaster Imran Rana, you started very well, and I love the way the speed was going on. The political place which you were born in, how you have made that build up. Secondly, the transition was absolutely according to the way it has to be, the chronicle way, age limits and the wise, taking along all the characters. But what I felt was this could have, though there was a lot of humor also, but you did not drop it well, the way it has to be, or it has to be shown or displayed. As we don't judge more into Icebreaker, but 7 years in Toastmasters, I believe you have. You should be allowed to, or I should be allowed to express more. I felt you were little slow down when you were describing about your marriage life or after marriage life. There were only one idea: if I have to improve it, just make it little bit of. There were many stories: your brothers, your family, then your families, plus your career along with your success. I felt there were room for cutting down a little short of a story and bring it a failure into it, because in Toastmasters what we learn is how you are being brought up, or how you've been come back from your failures, or how you have evaluated, or how you have seen yourself in those positions of. Lastly but not least, I felt there were some ahs and ums. I'm sorry, but there were a little more. Message was missing. A takeaway message is always important. I felt if you would have just given it, bringing in Toastmasters, I felt that I have made a good extended family, and this has been, a pressure releaser, or friends which I never thought when my brothers went at my wife's back. So I felt that now I have brothers in Toastmasters. Something could have made it little more and more engaging towards us, because everything, when you start your speech or you start making it, there should be a climax and a takeaway message. This is all important. Now let's move forward and invite distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid to give feedback about his visuals.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Latif. There is nothing much to report visually because Toastmaster Imran Rana stood in one place largely, did not move that much. And we could see very little of your body. But you know that there's no rule against that. And you know, you can deliver speech in whatever style you have. I think it was well compensated because we could see your face clearly and we could see your expressions that went along with the speech. So visually, that was one of the good points that I could notice. Also, I think the whole speech was very clearly conveyed in terms of your expressions and slight movements. We could have used more of seeing your body and more of your hand gestures along with the speech, but sometimes that's not possible. One last thing that I'd like to point out is that you could have improved your eye contact with the camera. You appeared to be looking sideways. So that's a lesson for all of us, in fact, because even right now, I'm looking at your window, Toastmaster Run, instead of the camera here. So we all need to control that. So that was my feedback in terms of the visual presentation. Over to you. Please develop it.
Now, with all the respect, I need 1 second from Toastmaster Anam Kadri. Distinguished Toastmaster, this is auditoy or auditroy? What is it? How do you pronounce this? Auditory? Auditoy?
Yes, it's auditory. Auditory.
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry.
No.
All right.
No, wait. Sorry. Let me invite Toastmaster Anam Kadri, who recently won the visual speech contest also, 2021-2022. It was a blessing for Karachi Toastmasters, who have always seen a champion. And Toastmaster Imran Rana is lucky to have been having auditory information from Toastmaster Anam Kadri.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Latif. Okay, so I'll be a little quick. You use the word your works. It could be your chores if you're going for plurals, or your work because it works singularly. Also, one more thing. Beards are not usually straightened. They are grabbed and pulled and pinched and everything dreadful that you can think of. It cannot be straightened unless stretched, unless you're going for straightening or keratin treatment. So that is it from my side. Over to you.
Excuse me, Toastmaster, and I'm sorry. In this, sorry, I did not tell you this. You are not just supposed to report on grammar. You're supposed to report on voice modulation, tone, terror, texture, etc. Rhythm, pitch.
Right.
So those
Regarding
aspects.
voice modulation, okay, no problem. I can do it ad hoc. That's not a problem. The Toastmasters Imran Rana's speech was good enough to be recalled over and over again, so it's not a problem. The voice modulation was really nice. I really liked it. I could hear it pretty clearly. And the tone was also set in a wonderful way, although a few expressions, a few ups and downs could have enhanced the points as well. The texture of the voice, yes, mashallah, he has got a very beautiful voice and it's pretty soothing to listen to. So the rhythm and the texture and the pitch and the pace, they were all in place, really refined and afresh. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster Latif.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anam Kadri. This I will keep it for a little while. It was nice to see a husband saying sorry to wife, right? Usually we don't see it. Okay, Toastmaster Ali, distinguished Toastmaster Ali Ashar Anjum. He will be sharing his views about the preceptive style about his speech. Please, over to you.
Perceptive.
Thank you so much, lead evaluator Toastmaster Latif Mansoor Ali. So your expression and gestures were amazing and optimum, and also aligned with your story. Your content was amazing, and as you shared your anecdote, your personal story, so it is the most relatable thing, that as we all know you and want to know you, and how you knitted your story was something amazing, from your childhood to your children's. I think that was an amazing journey. Me and the throughout the story was coherent, which means that you have invested time in the preparation while writing it and improving it. Uh, uh, you can improve more on your delivery, and on instant you was having some pauses, long pauses that can be improved. That's all from my side. Over to the lead evaluator.
Let's move on for language. Toastmaster Ibtidaj Fatima, please describe about his language and structure.
Greetings, everyone. I am Tihaj Fatma, and as Toastmaster Anam mentioned about language usage, the misuse of language, but Toastmaster Imran Anand did an amazing speech, and I loved when he called that we added angels in the word. And one thing I liked about his language usage was that each one of us have a universe in our own selves. So at the same time moment, I recall that this is Rumi's. This is a quote by Rumi that we think that we are a drop in ocean, but there is an ocean in us. We are not the drop. We have an ocean in us. So thank you so much. Your structure was amazing. You at the start, you made us feel like I was thinking, what is that? What happened to your relatives? And but later on, you carried out in a very good way that you were born. You described your birth amazingly, and I felt your speech when you were talking about your little angels was really lovely, and you used really good adjectives. I loved that. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ibtidaj, for a brief information about language and structure. Let's hear it from the little one, the little angel now. Toastmaster Imran Rana, please share your thoughts about our feedback.
Thank you so much, all the evaluators. It was a good postmortem of the speech, but I really enjoyed it, and it was great learning. So I appreciate each one of us, each one of your valuable evaluation. So I look forward to what do I say? To act upon those suggestions. So once again, sincerely thanks.
And do more speeches.
But now, before I hand over the charge to Toastmaster of the day, I just wanted to, and I'm sorry, Toastmaster Gayatri, I'm seeing you standing for almost half an hour or so. So, Toastmaster Imran, you've been a role model of listening to each and every member who wanted to give speeches. If you want to deliver a speech, I'm available to hear, and before your speech slot. Just
Talha, please note down, we have one role player always available when I deliver speech. Okay.
Anytime.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Master of the day, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, the speaker and the evaluator. Just a second. So now, first of all, absolutely fascinating icebreaker. And the best thing about icebreakers is every time you hear an icebreaker, it reveals something about the person. It's always different. It's always entertaining. And even if you witness all the speeches of a speaker, you feel that the subsequent speeches are actually expansions of the brief snippets of their lives they mentioned in their icebreaker. At least that's what I discovered about myself. I listened to my first icebreaker, a few that I made in 2016, and I realized that out of the things mentioned in that icebreaker, I had made at least 10 or 12 speeches, even without realizing it. So an icebreaker is not only an introduction of someone's life, it is perhaps also a preview of all their upcoming speeches. And that's the beauty of icebreaker. So with that, we move on finally to our keynote, and we thank Dtm Requirements for her patience and for joining us today. It is a special occasion because it is our first anniversary, and it is a special occasion because she has achieved DTM. So for your keynote, there will be your keynote title is Distinguished Journey with Distinguished People for Distinguished Achievements. So everyone, a distinguished journey with distinguished people for distinct. Yes.
Can I get an evaluation also for my keynote address? A generic evaluation?
Sure.
A short evaluation
sure.
would be fine. Thank you.
Sure. So who would like to do it?
Dtm Samir is in the room.
Actually, he is in the room, but he is he just said that he would be occupied.
Sorry, I'll be happy to do, because this is a special speech. I'll be more than happy to be her evaluator.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much, sir. That's great. So you could have asked for a better evaluator, Dtm Requirements. So everyone, please put your hands together for a distinguished journey with distinguished people for distinguished achievements. Distinguished Toastmaster, Gayatri Deshmukh.
It was September 2020 when I attended my first ever Toastmasters meeting. Utterly unimpressed with the crowd in the room. Yes, utterly unimpressed. But there was something about that meeting that stuck with me. Was it the format? Or was it something else? It was some X factor that stuck with me. I decided I'll explore some more Toastmasters clubs. And over a period of 1 week, I attended 5 Toastmasters meetings in 5 different clubs. Wow. First impressions are not always the last impressions. Don't judge the book by its cover. I was glad I did not make my decision about Toastmasters based on 1 meeting. After attending the meetings of 5 other clubs, I was now confused. Which one should I join? All the clubs are amazing. Then I attended all those meetings 1 more week. So now, again, the following week, I was attending 5 meetings of Toastmasters. Finally, I made a decision and I joined a club. Within my first week, I did my icebreaker. And it was sometime around here that, oh, some people are addressed as Toastmasters, and for some reason, there are a few other Toastmasters for whom they are using just one adjective, distinguished Toastmaster. In my grammarian report, I gave a suggestion to the Toastmaster of the day. I would have liked for you to use some more adjectives instead of just distinguished for everyone, which is when I realized, or rather, I was apprised of the fact that distinguished Toastmaster basically meant that you have achieved the highest education award in Toastmasters. Wow. As someone who comes from a family where education is of utmost importance, with most of the family members pursuing their PhD, I just went online and checked out DTM requirements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we are not doing this. Not happening. Definitely not. And I decided to focus on my communications journey. Somewhere in this journey, contests happened. One contest after another. I was completely focused only and only on the communications journey. While there were a few others who would quietly, silently tell me, Gayatri, you need to take up this club officer's role because, well, you're the only person who knows everything about pathways and we need a VP education. At one point, I was VP education for 2 clubs, not knowing what it meant until I was in the pool already. 7 months in Toastmasters, you don't know much. So you just kind of do whatever you are told, and that's what I did. But what a profound journey it was, because it was during this journey that I realized that it was not about becoming DTM. It was about the journey towards getting that award. One of the DTMs in their presentations had said, when you become a DTM, you have roughly delivered about 50 speeches or more, which means you have had more than 50 evaluations, which means that you have worked on your communications enough. And at some point, you have to move forward in your journey and not get stagnated. Okay. Again, back online. DTM requirements. 2 pathways. Done. Club officers for 12 months. Wow, that's also done. District officer, never happening. Club coach, club mentor, what's that? Speechcraft, YLP, whatever that is, club sponsor. How am I going to do what I don't know? And then there is some DTM project. Yeah, definitely not happening. It was around that time I met past international president, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon. I had just become a division champion in international speech contest at a district in London. So I was like on the cloud 9 or 11 if there is anything above that. I told him, sir, I'm not a DTM. And he said, why do you have to become a DTM? It's like, because everybody is a DTM, everybody wants to be a DTM, so I also want to be a DTM now. That's when he said to me something that probably defined my entire journey. He said to me that focus on your communications journey, because that is what is going to define the hard work you put in. As for DTM, well, stick to the core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence. DTM is a product of these 4 core values. And that had me thinking, excellence means a lot of hard work, a lot of practice, and I have been doing that for my communications journey. Respect. Every opportunity I got, I respected it. Every person who ever offered me help, every person who I came across in my journey, I have shown respect. How did I do that? No explanation. It's probably just what we Toastmasters do. Respect every opportunity by saying yes, and show respect to every person by being available for that person in whatever capacity that person requires. I was going to contests left, right, and center. There were times when I was in 5 contests in a single day, utterly tired on a Sunday, which was supposed to be the rest day. Yeah, service. And it was around this time that my president, my club president at Kolkata Advanced Toastmasters Club, and also my area director, distinguished Toastmaster Ayush Vaidya, told me that, okay, we need this club to settle and we need a club coach. So just I'll appoint you as club coach. It's like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Since he knew me very well, all he said was, just do what you usually do, just get the meetings done. Okay, I'll do that. I became the club coach in November 2021. Howrah prestigious Toastmasters Club. Wow. The first order of business was to assess what the club needed, what the members needed. And I quickly figured out that the club quality was a problem because majority members were new and they just needed guidance on how to perform each of the roles effectively. This is something I can do. So I started inviting all of my friends from across the globe to help our members perform their roles better, perform their speeches better. And within 3 to 4 months, the club quality went from year to year. Even the older members started feeling proud of the club quality, and members of other clubs started coming to our club to see exactly how this growth is happening. This was something I could do. It was the month of May, and we saw the dashboard, 20 members. 5 out of 6 education goals done. We are a president distinguished club. Wow, already. What was I doing? I never thought I had it in me what it took to be a leader, but some magic had happened. And now once again, 2 paths from pathways done. 12 months of club officers, I have 24 months now. District officer. I'm not a district officer. I have not been a district officer, but club coach of distinguished club, TI has been nice enough to give the dual credit for that. So I have both the clubs. Now what is remaining? Speechcraft, YLP, sponsor. Don't know what that is. And just then, in a fellow district, speechcrafts were happening. 20 speechcrafts at a time. It's not easy to find trainers for 20 speechcrafts happening in a span of 8 to 10 weeks. So when my friends called upon me, I did exactly what any good Toastmaster would do. What do you need? We need someone to do a session on local variety right there. I attended a few workshops, devised my own strategy, devised my own module, and presented it. We need organizing a speech workshop. Got it, don't worry. We need something on body language. Don't worry, on it. Over a period of 8 weeks, I attended several workshops on those topics. I read a lot. I saw a lot of videos. I went through a lot of material and finally devised my modules and did those training sessions. Wow, I know what speechcraft is now. Maybe I could coordinate one. But before I could think about that, again, the angel who had very secretly decided that he was going to make me a distinguished Toastmaster called me and said, Gayatri, we are opening a new club and we would like you to be the club sponsor and help settling the club. Now, he was one person I could never say no to for anything at all. I never realized that suddenly he was planning for my DTM journey. I knew from the very beginning, looking at all the requirements, not happening for me. But there was someone else who had decided that it would happen for me. Moral of the story, your DTM can never be your own. Wondering how? Let me tell you. How did I become a division champion? One fine day, I arrived at Karachi Toastmasters Club to complete my level 3 project of Engaging Humor Path. I shared 3 random funny stories. And in the evaluation, distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid pointed out that this particular story has potential to become a winning speech. I picked it up and I did that speech about like that story, weaved into a speech and did about 100 versions of it in about 125 meetings, some evaluation contests and some meetings. And that is how the division championship came through. It wasn't just him again. No. There was former first runner-up of World Championship of Public Speaking who sat down with me and told me, Gayatri, you're monotonous. No, Linda, I'm not monotonous. I bring in a lot of variety. Gayatri, you are monotonous. No, Linda, trust me. I can scream and I can speak in lower voice. No, sweetie, you speak at one pace. There is no variation in pitch. That's when she started imitating me and I was like, oh my God, that is monotonous. How do I address that? There was an exercise given to me that I should deliver 10 speeches without using body language or expressions. The emotion has to be conveyed only with voice. People thought I was stupid, but I trusted the advice given to me and I focused on that. I did 10 speeches without using hands. You can see I'm standing right like this, not using my hands. Then she asked me to do an entire speech, literally screaming, 5 to 7 minutes, screaming at the top of my voice. And then I was asked to do one speech in a very low pitch. Oh my God, yes, that is the pitch. I can sense the difference between my vocal cords. Now, communications journey was definitely not easy. And then there was Dan McGill, a British. Why do you Indians say this? Why do you Indians pronounce it like this? Dan, when your people left our country, they left their language behind, not their accent. Okay, no problem. Let's go about with it. Finally, torn in between an American and a British, an Indian girl trying to figure out how to pronounce education or education, whatever you feel like it. But that's where I was. But I decided to make the most out of it. Finally, I had my winning speech. Likewise, I realized that there was something about the leadership journey as well, which maybe I thought that I didn't have it in me, but there comes a point when you just have to be open for everything. Maybe I don't have it. Maybe I can work on it. And Toastmasters International is a place where leaders are made. Maybe Toastmasters might end up making a leader out of me. I think there is someone, Manoj Matthew here. Hello, Manoj. May I please request you to mute yourself? I think you're speaking. Thank you, Manoj. So there came the leadership aspect, which I always feared a lot. And now I was happy because I don't have to take up a leadership role. I already have my DTM requirements, which is when my dear friend Ayush Vedek calls me and says, please find the form for area directorship. I think we have Anil Kumar over here. Hello, Anil. Anil, would you like to say something? Okay, I think it was a mistake. So I got a call from Ayush saying, okay, you're filing for your area director's form. I don't want to be an area director. Huh, that's okay, but fill the form. Why will I fill the form if I don't want to be an area director? Just fill the form. I don't have time to explain right now. That is usually all the conversations with Ayush went. Okay, fine. If he has asked me to fill it, I'm going to fill it. Doesn't matter. Now the area director's interview is going on. 2 panelists conducting the interview. Moinat Chakrabarti and Zaman Hussain. Why do you want to become an area director? I don't want to become an area director. You filled the form, you signed it and sent it. I said yes. That means you want to become an area director. No, I don't want to become an area director. Then why did you send the form? Because Ayush Vaidya asked me to. You can't just become an area director just because someone asked you to. I said, have you met him? They all started laughing because they had all met him and they all knew how he bullies people into getting things done. Let's put it that way. All the interview was done. Everybody was so sure that I had botched it badly. But yes, here I am, standing in front of all of you as Area K3 Director of District 124. Did I ever think that I would take up a leadership role? No. Did I ever think that I could manage a leadership role? No. And still I took it. Do you know why? Because throughout this distinguished Toastmasters journey, I had distinguished people helping me at every step of the journey. I spoke about how Dtm Talha, Linda, Dan, they helped me with the communications journey, but there was this other aspect of the leadership journey wherein this person, Ayush, was constantly standing behind me like a rock wall. And that's when this African proverb struck me. If you want to go fast, you can go alone. But if you want to go far, you have to go slow with a group of people. It was time for me to decide if I wanted to go fast, like my communications journey, wherein it was just me, nobody else. I'm just taking help from everyone, guidance from everyone, and doing my best. Or I wanted to go far, wherein it was not just me, but people around me also progressing in their goals, in their achievements, and in their careers. There. Distinguished Toastmasters title came 2 weeks ago. But this DTM, I never realized. I always thought that DTM would be the end of everything. But for me, this is where the journey begins. I have the DTM now. Okay, fine. But living up to that title is something that is proving to be tougher than I expected. There's a certain level of expectation from you when you become a DTM, and not living up to that expectation will simply devalue the title which is considered as so coveted. Today, I'm standing in front of you telling you about all the distinguished people who helped me in the journey of DTM, which in itself was a distinguished journey, because unknowingly you end up working on so many facets of your personality. Suddenly, as a club coach, I'm not a leader, but I'm suddenly not working alone. Without any authority in the club, I'm working with the club authorities and club officers. Yes, that did bring about a subtle change in my personality. Somebody doing a favor for me. Yes, that changes something about your personality, wherein the gratitude aspect doesn't just remain a word, it is something that you experience. And then the feeling about, oh, somebody has done something for me. Now it's my turn to do something for someone else. That is what this journey was about. And like distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon said, all I had to do was have my integrity. I have to respect everyone. I have to have service attitude. And I have to always strive for excellence. DTM is just a product of these 4 words. Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Adrian Battery. My God, there is so much to unpack here. And I'm very confident that many of us will be going back to the recording and seeing the speech again. There is so much to learn here. For example, a DTM is not your own distinction. It belongs to your club, it belongs to your district, it belongs to everyone who helped you along. Secondly, your point about vocal variety, because we struggle, and I've traditionally struggled. I'm ashamed to admit it. Like 5 times BTS still struggle with vocal variety, because precisely when I think I'm doing well vocal variety wise, I'm told by others that no, your vocal variety is not good. And you were lucky enough, Dtm Gayatri, to have access to native English speakers who are unparalleled in terms of vocal variety. And this is not a discriminatory statement. This is what I find to be very objective fact. It is their native language, and they are much more confident compared to us. In the subcontinent, we are just raised like, don't do this, don't do that, don't shout, don't whisper, don't speak in front of guests. And we are inhibited naturally. And this is also something that our founder, Dtm Salim, used to say. He wanted to remove these inhibitions. He said that there's a lifetime, several generations of inhibited personalities in subcontinent that need to be liberated, and it won't happen overnight, but we can get there. On the other hand, native English speakers tend not to have that limitation, and that is why they're so effortlessly expressive with their vocal variety, even when they're not raising their voice. Thirdly, Dtm Gayatri, you highlighted how your journey meant service. It is not again a plague that you get. And I'm very confident that you haven't gotten your plagues by now. And TI has given you a vague promise that, when our store is up, you'll get your plague. Am I right? Yeah. And I fail to understand that when we can arrange a shield in 2 days, but okay, let's not go there. The thing is, though, that plague is there not signifying what you've achieved, but what you have served. You have done so many speeches and you've taught so many people how to speak. You have given so many evaluations. You have founded or helped found a club. You have hosted a club. You have changed so many lives. Over the course of a DTM, you end up potentially changing at least 15 to 20 lives. And that's what DTM is all about. It's not something of an achievement. It's a milestone. And yes, you're so right. Once you are a DTM, especially when you move around in North American clubs, they literally worship. Oh my God, a DTM is in the house. And you are taken aback. But then you realize that, that's what it is. You have not ended your journey. You have moved to a different journey. And that journey is far more demanding and far more rewarding too. So this is the message to everyone that once you become a DTM, yes, it is the end of one chapter, but it's the beginning of next, as DTM Evaluator would say. So with that, with a note of gratitude to DTM Library, I invite our evaluator, DTM Salim, for the development. Over to you, DTM Salim.
Thank you very much, DTM Tala. DTM Gayatri, when you first started, I loved your beginning. You visited a club and you said I was unimpressed. People usually don't say that. And then you went on to say on how you visited the other clubs, not once, but twice. So that was lovely. Generally, your hand gestures, you were counting on your fingers. I mean, your body was so fluid, it was unbelievable. I was making notes for myself because I said, okay, I must do this next time. And, when you were talking, you were leaning in the camera when you wanted to make a point. Your facial expressions, when you said something, even if I turned the volume off, I would have probably gotten what you were saying because your facial expressions match your body language, your tone of voice absolutely perfectly. You then went on, and it almost seemed like your whole journey was accidental. And that was so lovely that you were the VP education for not one, but two clubs. And after 50 evaluations, then you met who? The past international president, Toastmaster Deepak Merman. And he said, well, why be a DTM? Just focus on your communication skill, which and focus on the core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence. And this was such a powerful message because I have seen at times that people just want to become DTM just so they can have a title. And what does the title mean? It means nothing unless you have something to back it up. And that was such a brilliant and absolutely inspirational message that we should tell everybody, because DTM as a title means not very much unless you have something to back it up. Then you also said on how you ended up as a coach. And again, you almost made it out like accidental and what you did in it. And I think there was nothing accidental about it. Your speechcraft, the way you worked on it, the way you actually built up the modules, not many people do that. And you do. And that is because of your focus to excellence. And how you mentioned about your DTM can never be your own. Again, very humble of you to understand that, because a number of times you meet people and it's all about me, I, me. It's not only politicians, but also in Toastmasters that you see that quite a lot. And you never said that. You said it's how others help you and you help them. And that's what being a Toastmaster is all about. And then your others kind of, I would say, journey of, with Toastmaster Linda about speaking at one pace, improving yourself. That was also, I mean, the effort you put in it, I'm impressed by it. And I loved your reply to Toastmaster Dan McGill that you left us the language, but not the accent. I like that. That was so wonderful. Because, yeah, who knows what's a better accent? I loved your accent. It was brilliant. I mean, I just loved it. So, gosh, I wish I could find something to say that, gee, you can improve in this way or that way. But the only thing I can say is that I've taken notes and I'm stealing some of your ideas. So thank you very much, DTM Gayatri. It was a pleasure and an honor listening to you. Over to you, Toastmaster. DTM Tala.
Thank you so much, Dtm Sameer. Wow. Wow. What an evaluation. And trust me, Dtm Gayatri, one thing that I wish to highlight, how well crafted your keynote was, how well prepared you were today. That means you're taking nothing for granted. And I will repeat a quote from someone very wise. In fact, he's a genius. And he comes up with these random quotes that are the absolute distillation of the essence of life. And that someone is me. So, no, I didn't mean any of that earlier thing. But yes, I do come up with quotes. And one of my favorite quotes to go to is, no matter who you think you are, you're only as good as your latest speech. And that's what Dtm Sameer said. And I've seen that in him too. Whenever he appears, when he has stage time, you can tell that he's a DTM. You don't need to read the title. The way he speaks, the way he gathers his thought, the way he takes his time. We are so, sometimes, in myself included, sometimes we are so eager to jump into things. We jump into them without preparation. But that's not the way to go once you are a DTM. So thank you so much, Dtm Gayatri, for your absolutely phenomenal keynote. And now we move, and one more lesson. Sorry, I'm speaking too much today, but one more lesson. Dtm Gayatri asked to be evaluated. We know DTMs who take offense at being timed. And yet here's a DTM who wishes that every time she speaks, he should be evaluated. That is also something we should all take note of and learn. So thank you so much once again. And now we move on to our journal evaluator, budding Toastmaster. And the best thing I like about that particular Toastmaster is that she attends Toastmaster meetings for no reason other than to learn. And how many Toastmasters like that you find? Please make way for our journal evaluator today, Toastmaster Ibtihaj Fatul. Over to you, Toastmaster Ibtihaj.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dtm Talha bin Hamid, and thank you to Karachi Toastmasters Club for giving me the opportunity to learn a lot from you. Today, when our DTM mentioned, our district director mentioned that many Toastmasters join this club for learning. Yes, I am the one who always come to Karachi Toastmasters Club to learn something new. And can you imagine? I don't learn a single thing. I learn a lot. And at the end of the day, I perform well in my Toastmasters Club. Thank you to Karachi Toastmasters Club. Now, coming towards evaluations. Evaluations are really important in our life. Let me tell you one thing. I joined Toastmasters meeting and as a guest of Cloud 122. And I gave about 36-second speech. And the evaluator could not mention that I am disqualified. He actually gave me tips and tricks. So I was surprised. Yes, I can do this. So I want the person who can figure out the flaws, the gray areas. Evaluations are the things which motivated me to join Toastmasters, because we always have to learn new things. And evaluations are the breakfast, lunch, dinner, and everything for Toastmasters. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Imran Rana, for giving your amazing speech. And at the same time, our keynote speaker, thank you so much. I was totally surprised by your speech, and I learned a lot from your hand gestures as well. And the way Toastmaster Latif delivers his speech or evaluations is just amazing. And I love the way he presents his speech. One thing I would like to add is that our keynote speaker, when you were delivering speech, like Toastmaster Smith mentioned, I was focusing, yes, I can do these things. I can use body language tips in my own life. Thank you so much for helping us. And you actually deserve this. And I totally agree with you that when you asked that your DTM can never be your own. Although I am not a DTM, I'm a very newborn Toastmaster. But I can say that your success is not your own. It depends on all the people around you, even the single person whose little motivation encouraged you to speak. So among my mentors, 2 or 3 are right now in Karachi Toastmasters Club, who always give me positive feedbacks. They always try to add value in my life. Thank you so much. And they are helping us. Now it is time to move towards our reports. I will request our language evaluator to please come on the stage and give the language evaluations for today's meeting. I believe she is Toastmaster Anam Kadri.
Good morning again to the masters and guests. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. So starting off with the language evaluation, first of all, a splendid meeting, and I am happy that I actually joined in. There are a few speeches that you attend and you hear and you get impressed by them. But there are a few speeches when you are doing your chores and you stop for a moment and you listen. And then you turn around and you see who is talking and what he or she is talking. Today's speeches, keynote, evaluations are those sorts. I actually was busy somewhere, but I had but I had the entire focus that I had to leave my own chores in order to hear what everybody was saying. So to start with, the meeting started off really nicely with the phrase that DTM Samir Ahmedodi said about when Dr. Salim's dream was coming true by the KTC members, when he said, you are the phoenix who have risen from the ashes, who are flying higher and higher. Something that took my heart and something that summarized the meeting today. Overall, it was a really nice speech. The language used was superb. I got to hear a lot of new phrases and new expressions. Thank you so much. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anam, for this your amazing report. Now it is time to move towards our next facilitator. He is the youngest DTM of Pakistan, an amazing mentor who always get ready, very kind personality to help others. Please put your hands together for our timer, DTM Ali Ashar.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tehaj Fatima. So our prepared speaker, Toastmaster Imran Rana, took 6 minutes and 48 seconds. Then the lead evaluator, Toastmaster Latif Mansoor, took 3 minutes and 11 seconds. DTM Talha took 1 minute and 10 seconds. Toastmaster Anam took 1 minute and 16 seconds. DTM Ali Ashar, myself, took 1 minute and 25 seconds. And Toastmaster Iftihaj Fatma took 1 minute and 24 seconds. For the keynote speech, DTM Gayatri took 22 minutes and 19 seconds, which is in time, and which shows that he is well prepared for the speech. For her evaluation, DTM that's all from my side. Over to the general evaluator, Toastmaster Ittihad.
Thank you so much, timer, for your report. Now it is time to give my general evaluations. So the meeting almost started on time, and it is really grateful how our distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid shared the journey of Karachi Toastmasters Club, and he highlighted some few nuggets of Karachi Toastmasters Club, I must say, because every meeting is amazing, but he highlighted some. And it was really amazing to see you all progressing this way. And then our district director shared his ride with us and shared his views about Karachi Toastmasters Club. And I totally agree that you are always the one who go for the advanced things in Toastmasters, and we learn how to do how to adopt advancements in Toastmasters, and the advanced evaluations are really amazing. And yes, these are really important, and we need to work on this. Then our keynote speaker and our prepared speaker, Toastmaster Imran Rana, shared his icebreaker with beautiful voice tone, and I loved when he shared his little angels, little cute moments with us. I love that, and I love the general evaluations, not general evaluations by Toastmaster Latif. He actually mentioned, I must say, he's a seasoned Toastmaster, and I always love to listen to him. Then our keynote speaker shared his amazing journey with us to be a distinguished Toastmaster. We learned a lot, and it was really fruitful, and I could not figure out that it is very much long, because we were just continuously too much engrossed in understanding when she will be the DTM, and how she will be going through that. So it was amazing, and meeting was on time. Everyone come up with amazing energy. You are really vibrant and exuberant Toastmasters, I must say. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to evaluate these amazing meetings. Love to be with these seasoned Toastmasters. My general evaluations are over. Over to you, the club president, DTM Talha bin Hamid.
Thank you so much. Let me correct you. I'm only the acting president. And secondly, thank you so much for that wonderful, wonderful evaluation. Now it's time to end the meeting, but not before we share certain final thoughts. And what about our keynote speaker? Please share your thoughts about the meeting.
I think as an advanced format meeting, this definitely qualifies as a meeting for an advanced format, because I particularly like that the round robin evaluators are assigned to focus on a particular aspect of the speech craft. So this is something I have not seen anywhere else, wherein a person is only focused on vocal variety or only focused on body language or only focused on language part. I think this kind of evaluation definitely helps the speaker work on the wholesome aspects of all the speeches. So I really love that idea. So that is something I think I'll take away with me. And maybe in one of my clubs I will implement that. It is a good training for the new members.
Sure. Oh, sure. We would love that. And in fact, this whole evaluation paradigm is, I don't think you've seen it anywhere. And the reason is, it is the brainchild of Dtm Sudarshan from UAE. He's a member of Quantum Leap Toastmasters Club, which is you know about Quantum.
I know.
Right?
I've met Dtm Sudarshan in the Quantum Leap club as well.
He always used to say that he used this word wishy-washy for the evaluation. He said that I tend to find the evaluation wishy-washy. They do not leave any mark on me. And then he came up with this scheme, and we trialed it in Quantum Leap and we trialed it here. And both the sets of members absolutely loved it. So it's his brainchild, and we try to think of a name, and so we call it modular evaluation. Although the proper name should be Dtm Sudarshan's modular evaluation method. So we are proud that we are also pioneering something completely different. And I believe that this style of evaluation is much more rewarding. It also helps you prepare for the contests better, in addition to routine speeches. So, DTM Sameer, sir, your thoughts on the meeting?
I think it was a wonderful meeting. I really enjoyed it. And the keynote speaker blew me away. I mean, honestly, it was a speech that could be modified to a world championship speech. So yes, I loved it. I really enjoyed it. And I think it was wonderful that you invited. I'm impressed.
Thank you so much, DTM Sameer. It was very kind of DTM Gayatri to actually accept this invitation, because when she told me that she had become DTM and everything, so I just thought, why not celebrate it? This is what could be a better celebration, since we actually cannot physically invite her, at least not until our district has about 5,000 members. Then we can perhaps invite her.
Until that time, are struggling for that.
Yeah. So I was very, very encouraged actually, because I was participating in the District 57's council meeting. All right. And I was thrilled to learn that they're still missing some of their area directors. And they're seeing a 25% slide in their membership. So no, this is not Schadenfreude. I'm not taking pleasure in someone else's misery. Being a club president there, that's also my district. What I'm saying is, we are not doing that bad. If established districts are also struggling, at least we have our district officers in place. Because I saw actually Facebook posts and advertisements that area directors needed. even one of our Quantum Leap members, Dtm Ajay, he has become a remote area director for 2 North American areas. So, membership is one aspect, but people unwilling to take up the mantle of leadership, I think that's something far worse. And I think we should be grateful that at least we do not struggle in that area. We should ensure that we continue not to struggle in that area. We have a good friend of the club, Toastmaster Zahra Ibrahim, who joined late, but would love to have your comments on it. Over to you, Toastmaster Zahra.
Hi, assalamu alaikum everyone. So it was a wonderful meeting, although I'm in my workplace and my job timing is from 9 to 5. So, but I was lucky enough to join on time and witness the entire speech of DTM Gayatri. So it was an honor, ma'am, and how you mentioned your entire journey, becoming a DTM, and so it was amazing. I loved it, and there's so many things to learn from, because I only witnessed your speech, so I can comment on that. But the way everyone performed their roles, and if I talk about the general evaluator, the timer, the language evaluator, everyone did a marvelous job. So and it's always fruitful to join this meeting. And thank you very much for having me. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. And now it is time to close the meeting. And shockingly, we are closing on time. So, so once again, absolutely fantastic. We're grateful for DTM Samir for participating in this meeting, and also DTM Gayatri, and of course our DTM Ali Ranjan, who is very busy these days. He found the time to play this role. Yes, Toastmaster Tehad, would you like to say something?
Thank you so much. I would like to. I am actually very much excited to be a part of this community, and believe you me, whenever I come to Karachi Toastmasters Club, you people are very loving, and to DTM Gayatri, I loved your speech. And I was planning at the same time that I will be watching these live videos again and again to learn my hand gestures, because I'm very much for it. And I want to be a good speaker like you people are, to be a seasoned Toastmaster. But inshallah, I will follow you to learn things step by step, and don't focus on my DTM project. Inshallah, I will be here. But I loved everyone, not even... Whenever there is a speaker, I like, oh, this is something new. Every speaker has something new, and Toastmaster Latif, your evaluations are amazing. And your speech, I loved your speeches every time. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, DTM Talha, for inviting me to your meeting and giving me the opportunity to participate with you people, because for me, it is really nervous. I was really nervous. I could not perform well, but inshallah, I will learn to perform well in front of these seasoned Toastmasters as well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tehad. I think I speak for everyone when I say that you sounded like a seasoned journal evaluator. You did not sound new at all. And we should be thanking you for taking up this role. And, when do you reach out to other people for roles when your own club members are not taking them up? So, first of all, sincere gratitude to DTM Samir, DTM Ali, and Toastmaster Latif, Toastmaster Imran from Karachi, who are actually from Karachi Toastmasters Club, for taking up roles with the meeting. And so that is pretty much it. I formally announced the close of the meeting. And